A very good evening to all of you and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep, the most comprehensive preparation app for all exams. So as we all know that daily at 7 p.m. We come up with the Hindu newspaper discussion. So if I'm audible and visible, just write in the comments that yes sir, you're audible. So basically we will be discussing about this actually, and that is three-way contest in the offing for a president's post in Sri Lanka and no coercive action against Nupur Sharma. These are two important articles on the first page that we are going to discuss today. So today is actually 20th July and it is Wednesday, and basically we are here to discuss the important articles of the Hindu, right? So the two articles on the first page that we are going to discuss this, on the first page or the first half, this one is three-way contest in offing for president's post in Sri Lanka. So I hope you all are aware that recently the president of Sri Lanka, what is his name? The president of Sri Lanka, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, left the country. I hope you are aware he went to, I think, Maldives, then Singapore, and then I think perhaps there are news coming in that he went to Jeddah. So that was very much in the news, and that is why, of course, there was need to have a new president. Of course, the country cannot run without president, especially when there is a concept of executive presidency where president has more power than prime minister in Sri Lanka right now. So without the president, the country cannot run. And that is why the elections is happening actually. This is what it says. If you talk about this article, yes. Three-way contest in offing for president's post in Sri Lanka. So if you have read this article in this region, this I have zoomed it for you. It says that acting president Ranil Wickremesinghe, one candidate. The second candidate is independent candidate Dulas Alhaperuma, and the third candidate is a leftist candidate Anura Kumara Disanayak. So these are actually the three, you can say, a presidential candidate in Sri Lanka's presidential election. Okay. Yes, Alifia, he has been elected as president. I will be explaining that. So basically these are the three people who are contestant. The first is Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe, and he is actually the prime minister of Sri Lanka. Once the president of Sri Lanka, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, left, he was now the acting president of Sri Lanka also, because there was no president, there was vacancy in that. Second thing is, so he is from which party? So his party name is this, United National Party. So he belongs to this party. Okay. Now another is Dulas Alhaperuma, and he will be contesting independently. Okay. And the third one was Anura Kumar Disanayak. So he is actually from this party actually, Janata Vimukti Peramuna. So it's a, you can say it's a Marxist-Leninist Communist Party. So he's a leftist or communist party. Okay. So these three were actually the candidates. In fact, these three candidates are mentioned here in the Hindu first page article actually. So these are the three candidates. And this came in actually the Hindu today. But today there was an article news coming in that actually this person Ranil Wickremesinghe has won it. If you have watched the news, I think 3-4 hours back, this news was coming in. Ranil Wickremesinghe elected Sri Lanka's president in parliament vote today. So you will read this newspaper tomorrow. Tomorrow in the paper or hard copy, you will find this that Ranil Wickremesinghe has been elected as the president of Sri Lanka. Yes, I think you all must be aware of this. Now, after reading this article, there was one more article on first page here. Colombo did not show fiscal prudence. So we are going to discuss also that. So you can see it here. Basically, the center told all party meeting on the situation in Sri Lanka. Here you can see. Center means central government of India we are talking about, because you can see it's from New Delhi. Central government of India told all party meeting. All party meeting means all the political parties were invited to discuss the situation in Sri Lanka. Shows that fiscal prudence and responsible governance was not there. Fiscal prudence means wisdom was not there. They were not wise enough to calculate, or you can say handle the fiscal situation. And the center talked about the danger of culture of freebies. So giving things in free, especially just before the elections, a lot of political parties announces, I will give this for free, this for free, this for free. These are generally considered as harmful for the economy from economic point of view. I hope you are aware that Sri Lanka's economic problem was because of reducing the you can say taxes, one of the reason. Another reason was tourism industry got affected because of COVID. Then they started organic farming at all Sri Lanka level, which was not very successful, and these were one of the reasons. So basically the freebies etc., reducing the taxes, actually showed proved to be dangerous for Sri Lanka economy. Okay, I think it's very crystal clear, hopefully. Now let's talk about another one. This one, no coercive action against Nopur, says Supreme Court. So just have an idea that yes, that the Supreme Court has said for time being that yes, no police should arrest her, or there should not be any, I can say, coercive action means arrest generally. So for now, for a time being, Supreme Court has ordered this, and the hearing will continue. So you can follow this news. Now let's move on to another important article on the first page. If you have seen the first page, so newspaper is like this, right? So this is the first half of the first page, and below is also there, which is the second half of the first page if you read the hard copy newspaper. So here there was an article, over 1.6 lakh Indians gave up citizenship last year. So this was an article. So basically, I hope you are aware that monsoon session is going on. I discussed it, I think 2 or 3 days back in the Hindu editorial, that I think 2 or 3 days back monsoon session got started. Okay? So what happens is the MPs do ask questions to the minister. That is what we call it as question hour. You must have heard this term, question hour, 0 hour, these things. Hai na? So in question hour, you can say generally the MPs raise the question in front of the ministers. So an MP, a member of parliament, asked a question to the minister of state, or you can say to home minister, that please inform us that how many Indians last year left Indian citizenship and again other citizenship. So Minister of State for Home, his name is Mr. Nityanand Rai. He told that almost over 1.6 lakh Indians renounced their citizenship. Renounce their citizenship means left their citizenship. Highest in the past 5 years. So if you calculate for the past 5 years, this is the highest that Indians have left Indian citizenship and they have gone to other countries. Over, you can see out of 1.6 lakh, 78,000 has gone to US only. So you can say almost half, you can say, right? 78,000 people have taken US citizenship. That is what, and India does not allow dual citizenship. So what do you mean by dual citizenship? So basically dual citizenship means, if you are a citizen of India, if you go to other country, if you want to, let's say you took the citizenship of USA, that's called as dual citizenship. If you are having a citizenship of India and USA together, but that is not allowed in India. So if you are an Indian citizen and you go to some other country and take the citizenship of that country, let's say for example, you are an Indian citizen, went to USA and you took the citizenship of USA. So automatically your Indian citizenship will be cancelled. That is what it means. India does not allow dual citizenship. So this is how, this is what the Minister of State for Home, Mr. Nityanand Rai, said. So just have an idea about it, that this is the highest in the last 5 years. So like, see, Vijay Mallya or anyone else, there cannot be dual citizenship in which one, you can say there is one is an Indian citizen and any other. It's not allowed. For other countries, 2 other countries might be there, if other countries do allow. But in India, there is no concept of dual citizenship. Just be aware of it. So that is what it says. Now, you can see it here. Yes, he responded to the question by Mr. Fazlur Rahman in a, you can say, written reply and all. Okay. Yes. Now, let's talk about another article. Here is an important article. This was very, very actually important. And that says DSP crushed to death at mining site in Haryana. Very sorry news or sad news, you can say. See, what happened was a DSP means a Deputy Superintendent of Police. Deputy SP, what would you call it in short? A Deputy Superintendent of Police. He is a police officer in, of course, it's a rank of a police officer. So he was crushed to death in Nuh district of Haryana. A truck driver, actually, he was mowed down by truck, means truck crushed him, and the truck driver has been arrested actually. So he has gone to raid that area. Okay, so and that is why he was arrested there and all. So go and read about it. Just let me show the place where exactly it is, Nuh district. So if you see it here, this is India. Here you will find this is Haryana. Let me zoom it. So this is Haryana. Okay. Okay. Now let me zoom it further. Yes, this is Haryana, and here you will find Delhi somewhere. So let me zoom it further. Yes, here is Delhi. You can see this is Delhi. Okay, here is Gurugram, or what we call it as Gurgaon. The old name is Gurgaon, and here you will find the Nuh district. Of course, it is a district in Haryana. So this is Delhi and this is Haryana. So here is Haryana. Okay, this region. So Nuh is a district which is very near to Delhi actually, where this unfortunate incident happened. Okay, this Mr. Surendra Bishnoi was the deputy SP. He was crushed to death by a truck driver. Just remember it. Okay. Yes. Yes, that's called as Nuh district, right? Yes, I use this one. Now, there was one more news in the first page which talked about Supreme Court transfers Agripath petition to High Court. So basically, I hope you are aware of Agripath, a scheme launched by the government to recruit the military jawans, or you can say, and there is a proposal that there will be a, can say, I think 4 years of training will be there, and 75% or 25% will be continued for the further, and 75% you can say we'll have to, you can say, look for the jobs and all. So that was, in short, it was there. I hope you are aware of Agripath. I'm not explaining, because otherwise if I keep on explaining Agripath, then it will go, I can say, the class will go in the other direction. So I hope you are aware. So some people went to the Supreme Court to file petition, but there is already a Delhi High Court, already a case is pending. So the Supreme Court said that why so many petitions there in Supreme Court, in High Court, here and there. So let's send all the petition in one forum, that is the Delhi High Court. If Delhi High Court is listening, let them listen. That is what the Supreme Court said. Okay. Yes, a lot of petition filed in different High Courts. Yes, Shreya Singh. So that will create a different problem. If Delhi High Court says something else, and let's say some other High Court says opposite, so it will create unnecessary problem. So that is why it is better to be decided by one court. Yes. So multiple petitions create problem. Yes, that is not desirable, not proper, says Supreme Court. Okay, let's move on to the editorial page. I could not find any other important article from other pages. So let's, from first page, I'm just, you can say, going to the 6th page, the editorial page. So these are the 4 articles, 1, 2, 3, and 4. These 2 are author based. These 2 are nameless because it represents the opinion of the Hindu editors, right? I have told this many times. Okay, let's discuss about this. Okay, first I am asking the question, please tell me, he is talking about Chile. So please tell me, this Chile is a country which is a country in which continent? You will find this. And what is its capital? I am waiting for your answers in the live chat. Please answer it. So basically, there were 2 important, there are 2 articles in the first half. Chile marks a notch in global constitutionalism. So Gautam Bhatia writes, actually, he is a, I think, lawyer. He writes, he is praising the new constitution of Chile, actually. What does it says? Okay, so let's discuss about it. South Africa, no, it's South America. Debadritra is right. Ayush Gargi, Hariom, Ayush Gargi is right. Alefia Yusuf Ali, please correct it. It's South America. Yes, Santiago is the capital. Debadrita, very good, right? Awesome. Yashasvi, all are right. Simrela. Please do not get confused. It's not South Africa, it's South America. Let me explain it. Okay. Here is India. Okay. This is entire continent is called as Africa continent, and it is a continent. And here, somewhere here, you will find this South Africa country. South Africa is a country and Africa is a continent. Don't get confused. And here you will see this one is South America continent. South America continent. Okay. Okay. Let me zoom it this. Yes, this one. This is called as South America continent. It's not South Africa. Do not get confused. Yes. And in this South America continent here, are you seeing this thin country, this one, patla sa jo, this one is Chile. Okay, and the capital of Chile is Santiago. Some people have written it, very good. Okay, yes, Anisha Das, many people have answered. Ayush, Yashasvi, Aradhya, you all are right. Santiago is the capital city of Chile. Okay, now why are we discussing it? Because he discussed about it actually. He says that in 2019 a wave of protest happened which engulfed the country of Chile. Let me tell you the background first, okay, then you will understand it. See, this person was Augusto Pinochet, was the military leader or military general, military dictator, whatever you can say, of Chile from 1974 to 1990. So since then, that is called as Pinochet Constitution was made. Okay, you can see it here in 1980s. Pinochet Constitution was made. So he made it. But whenever a constitution is made by military rule, it is generally not pro people, right? There is no equality, egalitarianism is not there. So if you read the Wikipedia page, you go down, they have mentioned it, that in October 2019, a lot of protests happened, and finally in October 2022, the plebiscite was held and the new constitution came up. The first meeting happened on 4th July 2021 and all. So last year and last to last year, they were in a process of making a new constitution. Okay, now that is what he is praising this. He's saying that the new draft constitution is as an example of enduring an egalitarian democracy. Egalitarian means everyone to be treated equally. Egalitarian means equal, right? Means poor, rich, everyone is treated equally. That is called as egalitarian society. So this is why he is praising the new constitution. So he writes here, if you read this one, he is writing that a wave of protest happened in 2019, and the heart of the protest was the fact that Chile constitution was no longer fit for its purpose. Means he's talking about the old 1980 General Augusto Pinochet constitution. So people started protesting against it because it was, I can say, unfavorable. And yes, you can see it here. Here it is written. Chile became one of the most unequal country because of the constitution, the former or old constitution being followed by the people. Now here he says, if you read this one, he says that yes, Pinochet constitution he is talking, and then he says that now the new one is the much better one, where it talks about 51% of the people are female. Okay, 17% are reserved for indigenous people. So he's basically praising it, that the new constitution, unlike the old one which was based on Pinochet constitution, the new one is basically more egalitarian. Women are allowed, the local communities are allowed to represent and all. It is more inclusive. That is what he says. Now he further says it, if you read it, he further says this. Yes, here you can see it, and yes, you can see he is saying that the need for an independent data protection body is being felt in countries across the world, and the new constitution talks about it. So data protection means the same right to privacy and all, like GDPR, General Data Protection Regime, is there for European Union. So similarly, he is saying that the new Chile constitution also talks about data protection, right to privacy and all. And he also praises that the new constitution of Chile also talks about the gravity of climate crisis, constitutional important and all. So the new constitution of Chile also talks about the value of climate change, the climate crisis. It talks about those things. So that is what the Gautam Bhatia writes, praising the new constitution of Chile. Is it clear, guys? Hopefully, I think it should be crystal clear. Okay, the next editorial here is the, you can say, the authorless editorial. Of course, it is written by the editors of The Hindu. And it is talking about a stinging indictment. So that is what we are discussing it here. Yes, it also mentions on right to nature. Yes, Gargi, right, very good. You have read it, it means properly. Now, the next one is basically, we are talking about is a stinging indictment. So if you are seeing this, scapegoating of innocent tribals in the fight against Maoists is a self-defeating ploy. This is what actually, see what happens is, let me explain you. If you see it, here is India, this is Chhattisgarh. This is a state called as Chhattisgarh. And in the south of Chhattisgarh, this is a district called as Sukma. So what happened was, I hope you are aware that in Chhattisgarh, there is a heavy Maoism at that time. So in 2017, what happened was 25 CRPF or Central Reserve Police Force Jawans were martyred in a Maoist-led ambush. Means Maoist attacked them, and 25 CRPF personnel had to, you can say, die, or were, you can say, martyred. Now, what happened was, after that, 121 tribal people were arrested. Basically, those arrested were not responsible for the killing. That is what the NIA court recently said. See, you understand, the acquittal. Acquittal is opposite of conviction. Acquittal means what we call in Hindi as byjus bari hona. Means the court has said that they are not responsible, they are innocent. So proven innocent in court. Okay, that is what I say. Okay, that is what you can say the NIA code recently said, and all 121 were released completely because they were not involved in such incident. So innocents were actually arrested, and so they were imposed with UAPA and all another you can say laws. Yes, Anisha Das, yes. So the tribals who had been arrested and kept in jail for 5 years had been denied bail by NIA court, Chhattisgarh High Court, and etc. So they were languishing in jail for almost 5 years, but later on they were found that they were innocent ones. So that is what it says. So the lawyer had said that the investigation done was poorly done investigation, and the author further says, the Hindu editorials, the Hindu editor says that the best way, the clearest way to defeat a Maoist insurgency is by how? Or any other political movement based on violence and motivated by disenchantment with the state is to uphold the rule of law. So this is what they are talking. So the most important thing is to defeat the Maoism. The first thing is to ensure rule of law needs to be there. Okay, and to win the support among the people who the insurgents claim to be fighting for. It means basically the Maoists generally says that we are fighting for the poor. Generally, this is why they say that yes, we are fighting in support of tribals and all. So if the government wins their support, means the support of the local poor tribal people, then of course the Maoism will automatically become zero or gone. So that is what the author says in this. So we have to win the support of the local tribal people. We have to mainstream. So basically, what is the idea? To provide them education, skill, bring them in mainstream to learn and all. So if they will be skilled, educated, they are let's say studying in colleges, schools, so they will not be going there. That is what the author says. Yes. Okay. Now the next one is the editorials of the downside. The same editorial article, but there are two in the second half of the page. Tunnel vision, that is endangering India's history, and this is injury time. So let's discuss about this one. See, this was an article. He was talking about Ancient Monument and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act. So this is what the author is talking about. Now, what it is the planned revision of section 20 of Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act. See what exactly it says. If you have read this portion, I have zoomed this here for you. See what it says is the section 20 of Ancient Monument Act says that it prohibits construction within 100-meter radius of an archaeological site and regulated activities within 300 meters. So let's say, for example, I'm giving an example. So this is Taj Mahal. So this is of course protected under Archaeological Survey of India. So within 100 meter, you cannot construct anything, and within 300 meter, there will be a lot of regulation. So within 100 meter, no construction is allowed in the, let's say this is Taj Mahal. So within this 100 meter, no construction should be there. And within the 300 meter region, there will be regulation by the government. This is what exactly it says. Okay. Now, but he says the new bill proposes to revise the section. Henceforth, expert committee will be deciding the length. So he says that now onwards, there will not be 100 meter or 300 meter concept. Expert committee will decide case by case that in this case, within 100 meters, you can do it. In this case, in this monument, you can do 50 meter and all. So he is saying that this is not, the author has criticized it. See, let me clarify it. Whatever I explain here in this class is the explanation of the opinion of authors. I am not representing my view here. This is the opinion of the authors. My job is just to explain it. Okay. Yes. Now he further says, so basically he's saying, you can see it here. Here he has discussed that raising land around ASI protected monuments into industrial and commercial or even residential plot will thus deprive human and animal communities of much needed commons. Moreover, permitting construction work will weaken the foundation of century-old edifice. So he's saying that, let's say this is Taj Mahal, and if near to it you are making any factory, let's say here, so it might, you will be digging the, I can say the land. It may weaken the, you can say the monument, let's say Taj Mahal or any other monument. That is what he says. Second thing he says that hastily grounded electric pole might hit a monument's finial, leading to its fall. So he's used the word finial. What is finial? So this is called as finial. Are you seeing it? This one I have highlighted for you. So this is generally in a slightly, you can say weak. If somebody hits it, it can easily break, in fact. Okay. So he's saying that, let's say for example, in recent, this is finial, this one, this top one, these things, right? This is the main finial. Okay. So he's saying that, let's say there is a nearby, there's a pole has been, I can say there. Let's say we have you can say there is no rule of 100 meter. So we, somebody put a pole here, and let's say it falls. So it will break this finial. This is what he has said, that if a hastily grounded electric pole might hit the monument, it will make the finial fall. So I have just given example of Taj Mahal. I'm not saying that there will be a construction around Taj Mahal. This is just an example to show you what is finial and all. He had discussed in this article. Many people might not be understanding what he was discussing. Yes, Anadi Sao is talking about, is discussing about the positives and negatives and all. Yes. So I have discussed only important issues he has highlighted. You can go and read it in detail about it. Yes. Okay. Now the next one is this one, injury time. So this is related with cricket, and whenever things are related with cricket, you know more than me. But okay, let me tell you in short. So basically he is talking about, you have to understand the language in which they write. Okay. See it carefully. Indian cricket donning whites failed in England. Donning whites means white dressed, which means they are talking about test team. That is what you have to understand. So the author says that Indian test team did not perform well, but in the blue shade, Rohit Sharma's men found success. What do you mean by blue shade? So when I say blue shade means here. It means we are talking about ODI and T20. This is what you are supposed to understand. This is how the author writes. You have to understand what they're talking. Donning whites means test match they're talking. Blue shades means they're talking about this. Blue dress means ODI and T20. So he says, the author says that we were successful in ODI and T20, but not that much in case of whites. Donning whites means dressing whites means test match. This is what he says, the men in blue won. Men in blue, when we say men in blue, we are talking about the Indian team dress of ODI and T20. Yes. So that is why won both sets at an ideal margin of 2-1, 2-1 and all. That is what he says. So you are aware of these things. So that is why I'm not explaining much in detail. Guys, everyone please press the like button. We are seeing very less likes. I'm working very hard to make these contents. Please share this video with your friends. And whenever you push a like, share it with your friends, then I will get also motivation to come up with these good quality contents. We also need motivation like you. Of course, everyone needs motivation. Yes, extreme metaphorical way. Yes, Anadi Sao. This is what you are supposed to understand. You can go and read it in detail about it. Now let's talk about OpEd page. Yes. So when we are talking about OpEd page, means opposite to edit page. So these two articles were there. A new legislation that mirrors the old. No inner party democracy. These two were the important articles. Okay. Now basically when he is talking about this one, the author is talking about new drugs, medical devices and cosmetics bill actually. See, so basically the author is saying that the first Drugs and Cosmetics Act was passed in 1940. And at that time, the pharmaceutical industry or the medicine making industry of India was not that much ahead. So the regulations were not, the regulations required were not very much strong. But now, since we have gone ahead, our pharmaceutical company has improved a lot. We are supposed to come up with a strong legislation. So basically, he was slightly critical about the new can say bill. He says that we have missed in this. So he says that we need to have a GMP, Global Manufacturing Practices. So basically, what is GMP? So even the WHO also talks about it. good manufacturing practices. It is a system for ensuring that products are consistently produced and controlled according to quality standards. Yes, Shreya, the tone is critical. Yes, huh? So what he says, the author says, is actually that this bill should also talk about GMP. In 1988, India talked about GMP, that is good manufacturing practices, but there was it was talked about government, and there was no parliamentary law was made in 1988 also. He says that if you talk about USA, there is a concept of GMP, good manufacturing practices. And he says that if you talk about the recent bill, here he's talking, yes, you can see it here. In Indian law, on the other hand, contains no such criminal penalties for pharmaceutical companies failing to comply with GMP. So he says that if you talk about America, if the pharmaceutical company fails to follow the GMP rules, they will be considered as adulterated, means we can say if they fail to comply the GMP rules, then they are punished. In fact, that is what he says. But he says in case of Indian law, there is no such criminal penalties. Means if the pharmaceutical companies fail to comply or follow the GMP, that is good manufacturing practices, they will not be punished or jailed or something like this. At max, what will happen is license will be cancelled. So he's saying that only cancelling license is not, you can say, good enough. We have to come up with a concept of punishing the one who are making the fake medicine or something, means who are making the medicine which are not following this GMP principle or good manufacturing practices. So it says that bill does not talk about these things. So basically, in short, he is talking about GMP. So the bill should talk about this GMP, that is good manufacturing practices. I would suggest after the class is over, just go to WHO website and read about good manufacturing practices and all. That is what the author has talked about. Now, the next one, yes, this was the bill that has been introduced recently, and he was criticizing this bill, the author. The next is no inner party democracy. This was talked, the author wrote about a background about actually Britain. So he wrote many things. You can agree or disagree. Some of the things he might be right, but at some point he might not be right. So he says basically that Boris Johnson had to resign. Why he had to resign? I hope you are aware of this scandal, Chris Spencer sex scandal, because of which actually Rishi Sunak, Sajid Javed resigned. And because of which actually what happened was, we can say Boris Johnson had to resign, and that is, you can see it here, Boris Johnson resigns as political drama ends in Britain and all. Now, what happened was, when this happened, actually, the ministers resigned. Many ministers protested and all. So he says that there is a concept of inner party democracy in Britain, but not much in India. So he is saying that, let's say he has written here, that in India, in Britain, the MPs can vote against the party's, I can say, party's order. So let's say all the majority party are voting for something. Some MPs can vote opposite also. But in India, if one or two MPs vote opposite, he will be disqualified under defection. I hope you are aware of this. You cannot oppose the party line. So he is criticizing it, but it has opposite side also. If people start doing it, then it will lead to more and more defection in India, and which might be made more dangerous. So there are two aspects also. He is supporting that one, the British aspect, and also he is saying that inner party democracy is good and all. That is what he says. So that is his opinion. You can read about him. Now let's talk about another one. Page 10 article, Alva files paper for vice president election. So basically, I hope you are aware that Margaret Alva is the vice presidential candidate from opposition side. And the first question in front of you is, who is the returning officer in the election to the vice president to be held very soon? Your options are Lok Sabha Secretary General, Rajya Sabha Secretary General, outgoing Vice President, Chief Justice of India. What is the right answer to this question? I'm waiting for your answers. Read it carefully. I'm talking about Vice President Returning Officer. Yes, I haven't got the right answer. I'm very sorry. So people are marking B because they thought that the same will be in this case also. Yesterday, no, it's not yesterday's question. I'm talking about Vice President's returning officer. No, Shreya Singh, please see the question. That is why I always teach you. Whenever you get a question in exam, read it carefully. You might be thinking something else and question is something else. Please understand. The right answer is actually A. Lok Sabha Secretary General is the right answer to this question. So this is the PIB website, 29th June 2022, election of the office of Vice President. And if you read it here, they have written it that the Secretary General of Lok Sabha will be the returning officer for election of Vice President. Okay. So in case of Vice President, this time Lok Sabha Secretary General is the returning officer for Vice President election. I'm not talking about President election. Yes, Srishti Thakur is right. So you can see it here. She is filing a nomination paper to this person. He is returning officer of Vice President election, and you can see the Lok Sabha Secretary General. His name is Mr. Utpal Kumar Singh. So you can see it here is the person. He was appointed in November 2020. Yes. So please remember that. Yes. Okay. So A is the right answer. Srishti Thakur, you all are right. Rusha Pawar, you all are right. The next is all states agreed to GST changes on food item. I hope you are aware that recently the government has decided to you can say impose GST on unbranded, pre-packed, pre-labeled food products was critical and all. So I hope you are aware of the food products and all. GST has been added. So basically people were criticizing only packed food items attract GST. There is no tax when sold loose. Yes, that is what it is. So let me correct it. Only the packed food items will attract GST, not the non-packed food item. So you can go and read it. There was some criticism happening and all. So you can say finance minister said, no, it is not our only duty. It was states also agreed to it. So which article of Indian Constitution talks about GST Council? I'm waiting for your answers. Answer it fast. 248, 279, 279A, 343. I hope you all can answer it. It's very easy. So the right answer to this question is C, 279, capital A is the right answer to this question, which talks about it. So it comprises of the chairperson as Union Finance Minister, then Union Minister of State is there, and states ministers are also the members. So basically, actually the members are like this. If you want to pass any thing, you need 3/4 majority, right? And out of which, in the entire GST Council, 1/3 voting power is of the center. Yes, and 2/3 voting power is of the state. That is what it says, right? So basically, and that is why Supreme Court said that since GST Council has unequal voting structure, it is non-binding. Yes, GST Council suggestions are not binding, says Supreme Court. This was very much in the news. Yes, 2 C was the right answer. Many people have answered it. So please understand, the recommendation of GST Council is not binding. It is, of course, finally the government who imposes the GST. So let's say that is what it says. Just have an idea about GST Council, go and read about it in detail. The next one on world page, an article was UK record its highest ever temperature. I hope you are aware of this. We had discussed so many times France, Greece. Yes, 2 days back we had discussed about this Southwest Europe forest fire in this region of Europe. This is Europe and this region. We had discussed it. Go and watch day before yesterday's the Hindu editorial. We had discussed about this heat waves and all. Then there was an article, Putin says progress in Ukraine grain talks. So basically, Vladimir Putin actually is in Tehran, the capital city of Iran, and he met, here is Vladimir Putin, he is the Riyasi, the president of Iran, and he is Recep Tayyip Erdogan, he is the president of Turkey. So all three actually met it. So that is why he was very much in the news. Here is Erdogan, the Turkish president, and here is Russian president Vladimir Putin. So go and read more about it in detail. So this is all about today's class, guys. Everyone please press the like button, share and subscribe to our channel. So thank you everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.